All right, just another update. So this is my KTM 390 head. Um, as you can see, making some progress. Finally got my gray area KTM stainless steel valves. So working on getting those lapped in today. Previous to this, I was working on trying to see if I can just kind of flatten the head as much as possible. Being that this is single cylinder setup and it's so small, I opted to go with the super straight, like thick piece of glass and uh, sandpaper method. So I use 600 grit sandpaper along with some, you know, mineral spirits to kind of help lube it up. Every once in a while, I would clean the sandpaper off, and then from there, I would go through and replace it as necessary. So that being said, I got the head pretty good. There was only one spot that was slightly of concern. As you can see, there's still a little dicum on here. I just bought some dicum on Amazon. Pretty much put dicum across the entire head surface and then started sanding it down, and that's when I saw this area being the low spot. Um, Pretty much got it all the way there. I didn't want to do too much more, especially since I'm doing the high compression head gasket. Um, but Not as bad as it was. Definitely huge improvements from when I first started, so I'm pretty happy with it. This part, I did the surface as well, covered the entire surface. Not nearly as bad at all. Like this surface was pretty straight. There was only like a few tiny little spots. They were kind of in areas where, they weren't that big of a deal. So pretty happy with this one. Um, I think it's going to go together fine once it gets clamped together too. And I ran a feeler gauge and a straight edge through here too. No big issues. But the other thing, so as I mentioned before, uh, just finished lapping these in, so you can kind of see the ring. Was working on getting those lapped in, and I just wanted to kind of look at these and show you some of the weight differences and whatnot that they talk about. Now, this isn't like the most accurate; it only does ounces, so it's not like one of those ones that measures in grams, but it just kind of goes to show you a little bit. So this is OEM exhaust valve. So the exhaust valve itself is 0.09 of an ounce. And then when you add that in, 1.2. Okay, that's factory retainer. Didn't do springs or keepers because I'm reusing them for this. No big deal. Now this is 1 ounce for the stainless valve. And this is a titanium retainer. So realistically speaking, you're talking about the same amount of rotational weight, so that's good. Not too worried about that, but hopefully, with this being a stainless steel valve, it'll be significantly stronger. I want to say I went and measured the lengths of my valves, and I was surprised to see that one of them was stretched more than the other one. The other ones were kind of in spec. And I've had to do a lot of valve checks on these things. This is 24,000 miles on it. And that's even after I've like attempted to clean it up a little bit. If I can get it to focus. Let's see here. Come on. There it goes. Not too bad. I mean, you can see on the edge there's some corrosion. So, anyways, that's it for those. I'm going to get those thrown together at some point. As for the rest of it, as you can see, new valve stem seals. These are good to have if you're ever taking your motor apart like the way that I just did. Always change these out. They're cheap insurance, and when you get the gray area KTM stainless valve kit, they actually send you some, which I did not realize. That's the part number if you need it. Now I have an abundance of those, so there's that. That's great. Anyways, changing those out, all the springs and retainers and everything over here, brand new timing chain, still OEM piston. That's my valve cover that I powder coated. And then again, that's the high compression head gasket kit. So anyways, I'm going to work on getting all this stuff assembled, put everything together, try to get the valve train and stuff put together, and then hopefully get everything slapped together, and then work on getting the engine at least assembled, and then hopefully start working on getting that put back into the bike. So here's what I used. This is the Permatex valve grinding compound. So it starts out at like 120 grit, and then as you start to use it, it gets into a finer grit as it starts to break down the material itself. And then I use that in conjunction with this tool, which is pretty handy. I was very surprised, but drill end here, you can see it's labeled, and then there's a suction cup, put it on there. And what's neat about it is if you're operating the drill, normally when people do a drill method, it just goes in one direction. If I were to squeeze it, it would only go in one direction. There's a manual tool that you can do where you basically operate it as if you were trying to light a fire. Well, this one operates kind of similar. I'll show you real quick if I can get this to prop up with no issues. Let me just rest my phone. Okay, so if you hold on to this part here and then watch it, I don't know if you can tell from the tip there. Maybe I can put a better visual aid on the end, kind of show you what exactly it does. Let's see, what do I have around here that would stick to that? Give me one sec. Just gives me, okay, this might work. Oh. Well, no, you know what? How about this? Nope. All right, well, you get the idea. Let me see if I can just point it towards the camera. Okay. So as you hold it, it actually rocks it back and forth, mimicking that exact motion. I thought that was pretty cool. It helps you kind of get it done right without really having to burn your hands out constantly trying to move it back and forth. So definitely a cool piece. But either way, this is where we're at. Gonna have this hopefully reassembled, and then start working on getting it timed pretty soon. And then yeah, hopefully we'll have it back together. But that's it for now, and we'll see you later.